Sit tight, sexy people. We'll be right back. Hey, beautiful people. Hey, beautiful people. Hey, beautiful people. Hi, guys on Instagram. We are trying this again. We are trying this what again? Okay, we are. If we get a screw up when I let you in this time, L Boogie, then we're gonna have to not answer your call. Hold on one second, guys. I'll let in my co-host, Lauren. There you go. You are there. Good stuff. Hi, everybody on Instagram. What's up, beautiful people? What's up, sexy people? What's up, sexy folks? I appreciate y'all. I hope that you guys are having a good night. I hope that you guys are having a great, fantastic Thursday night. It's a lot going on out here in these streets. If you're watching me on Instagram, please feel free to go on over to, let me tag it right here, guys, as a matter of fact. This will be, hold on, here we go. Hold on, sexy people. Let me do this. I'm trying to get my Instagram folks to come on over to YouTube. And that is worth, hold on. I'm sorry for that noise, you guys. This little thing is sitting on. Alrighty. Okay, guys, this show is going to be quick and dirty. Welcome to Nights with Nikki. Because I do have to travel tomorrow. We are traveling. We are headed to Vegas. I hope you guys got your tickets to see Brownstone with Mr. Keith Sweat, the incomparable Mr. Keith Sweat. You understand what I'm saying? Brownstone, Keith Sweat, and Silk. You guys make sure you check us out if you're in Vegas. It's a great girls trip. It's a great opportunity to hang out with your girls, hang out with your boys. It's Labor Day weekend. It's a lot of stuff going on. So if you have the opportunity, please and thank you, come holla at us. Brownstone and Keith Sweat. Y'all, I have a new addiction. My daughter bought these and I was like, ooh, this is bomb. And y'all probably like, you late. This is like not an advertisement. These people ain't giving me $2. These people ain't giving me 2 cents, but this is so yummy. It is called Fresca. It's a sparkling water, but it's grapefruit flavored. I don't know if y'all don't ever had this. Ooh, why I got a crack in my glass? Ooh, and this is one of my favorite. Look like I gotta be dainty today, cause I sure got a whole crack. Wait, where is it? Uh-oh, there's my other co-host. Wait, let me. Ooh, I don't want to drink on that side. Should I chance it, y'all? I'ma chance it. Hold on, let me put my other co-host in. You guys, remember, you can also see us on Worth TV, baby. You can see us on Worth.tv YouTube channel. You can tune in right there. There she is, Miss America. Hold on. Am I adding you, Tyree? Why won't it let me add you? What's going on here with this thing? Hold on. There we go. There she is. There she is. There she is. So, yes, hi, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Twitter, formerly known as X. I decided that I probably should not try to go to too many different outlets at once. Maybe that's the reason why I keep dropping off, or maybe it's the UDA. Who knows? But I want to get into hey, baby. Hey, hey, hey. Um, what's going on? Tyree, you trying to tell me something? What? I don't know what you're trying to. I can't hear you. You're muted. Yes, I have you muted. Let me bounce out of here. Hold on. I can't hear you because you're muted and it feeds back. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've been trying to do this, not trying to do. We have done this Nights with Nikki for 4 full nights. It's something that I initially started doing Monday through Friday from 7 until, well, sometimes it went from 7 until 9, but starting at 7. And now the time will fluctuate between 7 and 9, depending on what a gal has going on. It feels like 9 o'clock is a better sweet spot for all of us, especially since I have some co-hosts in this chat. So I want to first start this thing off by saying thank you to our sister Kimberly Latrice Jones, who came on last night and kicked it with us. This is super informal, y'all. There's no real sort of layout on this show except to speak honest thoughts, to speak how you really feeling, to share, your thoughts of the day. I have a lot going on in my life, so I decided that talking about it on Nice with Nikki is better than ranting about it in the car on the way home from the gym. So that's really all this is. All right, now I'm about to bring in my co-host and get him some juice on this microphone. Hopefully this thing don't be hold on. Hey ladies, can y'all hear me?
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah. You can't see their beautiful faces, but this is my BFFs. One of them works with me, is the GM of Worth Women in Reality Film and TV. One of them has worked with me for my entire career, but we just became best friends after working together. She's a really incredible human being, and she is my best friend, and she's such a confidant and a beautiful, wonderful person. So today we had a lot of stuff that each of us was kind of like in the group chat, like, girl, did you see this? Girl, did you see this? Girl, did you see this? So I'm going to go to this real quick and then I'm going to come back. Marguerite. And when I come back, we're going to talk about this here thing here. So I was on Instagram. I'm sorry, no, I was on Twitter or X or whatever the heck they want to call it. And I saw this post from Michael Jackson's nephew, Taj. And Taj is, back in the day, there was a group called 3T. And Taj was a part of that group. And hold on. Okay, here we go. Taj was a part of the group 3T, which is Michael Jackson's nephews. And Taj posted on Twitter, although this did not go in our favor, I will keep fighting for my uncle, no matter how rigged the system is against us. It's time to expose all of these lies about Michael Jackson and hold the media accountable for spreading them. And then I looked a little further and I saw that the ruling cleared way for Michael Jackson's catalog to basically, I think, be sold. So I went a little further and I did a little more digging, and I saw a Rolling Stone article. And in this Rolling Stone article, it says an appellate panel found the singer's mother had no basis to challenge. I'm sorry, let me read the whole thing. It says it's official. Michael Jackson's estate clinches win over Katherine Jackson in a $600 million catalog war. An appellate panel found that the singer's mother had no basis to challenge a lower court's approval of the Sony catalog, right? And this is behind a paywall, as are many of the other articles about it. So I'm not finna pay. I ain't got it. How Tasha K say, I ain't got it. But let me get the ladies in here. Hold on. Where are we? Yes. So ladies, were you able to hear that? Did you hear that okay?
Yes.
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 So what are your thoughts? Please, Instagram, if y'all got questions about it, you guys heard me read that. If you want to actually see what we're talking about, you can join us on Worth TV, Worth.tv. So Lauren, you first, boo.
Um, I think
a shame for his legacy, for his family. Um, it's like something that Janet said in her documentary that she did with Lifetime. I don't know if it was last year or the year before last, but you know, her being one of the younger Jacksons, stating that in the last few years of his life, like the people that were around him kept the family away from him, which is sad because your family is always supposed to be, your safety net. And in my mind, think about all of the classics that Michael Jackson has, and I was listening to him today. Happy Heavenly Birthday to the King of Pop. And it's just like, Thriller is one of, if not the highest selling song in history. And the album is the number one selling album of all time. But the song itself is just like, how many times do people dress up as Michael Jackson on Halloween and do the whole Thriller routine? And post it everywhere. That is a part of his legacy. So anything that's associated with him and what he did and all the other kind of stuff, now it goes to a company, not to his children, not to his family, but to a company so that they can make, the money in forever, infinity, and beyond. And that's not
In
fair.
perpetuity, which means forever, forever,
Perpetuity.
ever,
Ooh,
forever,
Yeah,
ever.
that's the
ooh,
word I was looking
ooh,
for, but
ooh.
I was
Yep.
just like, what's the word? Perpetuity. Yes.
Yep.
So, that's not fair. And I don't like it.
None of us do. Derek Tuggle, shout out to Derek, who says that TJ is Tito's son. Yes, indeed. He also says, again, record companies are taking advantage of artists. Tyree, because you have been in this space many a day before. What are your thoughts on it, friend? What are your thoughts?
I am so uncomfortably angry in my soul because I've watched this happen over and over and over again. And it's just so allegedly, it was like she was saying that the two men that are talked about in this article were around Michael at the of, end of his around his demise, but they were keeping the family away. They were trying to encourage him to go on the road, even though he really didn't need to. But I was also informed that he was in the act of trying to purchase Disney, which we have to confirm or deny that. I don't, it's not like I know that for sure, but I was told or read something somewhere that he was also in trying to buy Disney, and that riled up a whole bunch of people. And so it's and then I would also read that the two guys in question that were in court somehow got him to sign something that put them as executors of his estate, which I can't imagine he wouldn't leave it to his family. Like, Michael was about his family. I mean, Janet, his parents, like, why
His
would he
children.
leave all of that to his lawyers, to his two lawyers? Why? I don't.
Well, I can say, speaking from personal experience, that unfortunately, we just as creatives and as artists, we aren't taught how to create things like trust. There was an article I saw out there that talked specifically about the mistakes that were made because, and I say this all the time, a lot of times artists want to, you want to you feel like your family doesn't understand the industry. You feel like your family doesn't understand the business. You feel like they don't understand you a lot of times. And you feel like you can trust people that you don't know because they have a title lawyer or record executive or whatever, right? And unfortunately, you start to, this is exactly it. That's exactly it, Hassan. He said you develop relationships and you start to trust people. And the crazy thing is that a lot of these people are predators. A lot of these people are, because if you think about it, as kids, we're in our 20s when we're signing these contracts. I've said this a gazillion times. You know, we're super young when we're signing these agreements, and we don't know what we're signing. And perpetuity means forever, literally. And you would think that the family, the mom, the kids would have at least 50% ownership, like some control over your intellectual properties or your preeminent business assets. But unfortunately, we're not encouraged to do that. Like, you know, no shade and no disrespect, but when we signed our record deal with Michael Jackson, like it literally was like, okay, this is going to be your manager. This is going to be your lawyer. This is going to be your
Yeah.
accountant. And that shit was crazy. Like it was literally
Yeah.
like, it was like that, y'all. Like I'm not even exaggerating, because and then the flip side of that, let's just not make it all that, right? The flip side of that is that you're a little girl coming from like the middle of nowhere in Detroit, West Bumblefuck. You don't know who the best lawyers or who the best business managers or the best accountants or the best managers and stuff are. You just got a record deal. So it would seem like, well, yeah, if you guys are more familiar with like what the best of the best is, this is Michael Jackson after all, then let's take that referral. But then you realize everybody knows everybody. And when everybody knows everybody, a lot of times they're looking out for each other. And that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles a lot of times out here in these streets. They looking out for each other. I don't understand how Michael Jackson's mom didn't have any say. Well, not that she didn't have any say, because again, everything is behind a paywall, so we
Somehow
haven't
she
seen
was
the
written
whole
out.
right.
Yeah.
Somehow she was written out. That is completely mind blowing to me, especially, you know, as much as we talk about ownership and the lack thereof. I'm sorry, the lack thereof in our
And
community,
how aware he always was
and
of the
how aware.
game.
Ooh, he was a G.
Michael was
Yep.
Michael was very aware of the game. So it's just shocking to me that something crazy didn't go on to put them in this position. And then immediately, as soon as they are able to retain it, they're going to sell it. Like if you have if I
Yeah.
had executive if I retained executive control over all of that, why would I sell it for a measly 600 million? In
Right.
his
When you
It's
case, a
know
worth
what.
measly
1.2
600 million.
billion.
Wow, that is. Whew. So we got a couple comments here. Hassan says a really interesting point. I cannot confirm or deny because I wasn't there, but he says he might have been under the influence while making certain decisions. So here's another thing. When Whitney Houston unfortunately passed away, you know, I was out on the circuit, you know, being, I guess, what they call a pundit, you know, and I was really just speaking up and speaking on her behalf. And no, Whitney wasn't my friend like that. And no, you know, like we knew each other. We'd seen each other at parties. I met her several times through faith, but it wasn't like we knew each other like that. But she was my sister in song. She was somebody that, you know, I saw the night before she died, which is crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? I had a chance to hug her and Bobby Christina, and to see her.
Yep. We were there.
You were there, right?
Crazy.
You were there. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was there.
Tyree, oh my gosh.
It was me and
Oh
you. Yep.
my gosh. But to say, all that to say, not being long winded, I was advocating for her. And I talked a lot about the fact that there are a lot of enablers around people. There are a lot of people around artists and creatives who do allow them to make decisions while they are under the influence, you know, and they're professional hanger-ons. They're professional, you know, what you need, I got you. Hustle man, like Lene on Good Times, where he opened up that suit. He had spoons and
Yep.
pots and pans and shit. All kind, you know what I'm saying? They got it. You want it, they got it. And it's unfortunate. And I'm not saying that this happened in Michael Jackson's case. I'm just saying, and then the other side of it, let's give an objective perspective, right? The other part of it is that I also understand the concept of certain family members not having the tools, the information and the resources and the connections that they need to manage certain things at a certain level. So that's actually a really real conversation as well, which makes it like, you know, okay, who manages this? Who really takes care of it? Who did he entrust to take care of it? You don't know why.
Yeah.
Let's see what the audience is talking about. You guys, please, if you're watching us on YouTube, and I hope that you are, please make sure that you hit like, share, and subscribe. Please, please, please. I thank you in advance for that. Angel Hall says, Michael Jackson or Whitney, who was more legendary? Oh, come on. Definitely easily. Nah. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna pass
Yeah,
on that one. That's not even a question that we
it's
can even really
that's a
answer
lot.
with a straight face. No disrespect. No
And
disrespect at all.
and Angela, we were 24 in 94. Just to answer your other question, we weren't quite
And
Yes.
18, but we
bam,
were
it's not
24.
Michael Jackson's first album. It was Off the Wall in
Off the wall.
1979.
um
Boom.
so boom 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 boom. Baby, listen. Ooh. We love them. Someone asked Nikki,
Thanks,
how
Boom.
was Michael when you knew him? Amazing. I mean, come on. Like, how do you think someone who, I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story real quick. Funny story. When I was younger, and I've said this before, so if you know it, bear with me. Tyree knows it. Folks know it. So when I was younger in my neighborhood, I used to gosh, this is so funny. I would go there. This when those like Polaroids came out, when they were first, like you could pretend like you got a Polaroid picture from Michael Jackson. So I like went and bought a Polaroid picture from the drugstore, Wood Drugs on Greenfield in Detroit, and signed it and went and showed all my friends. And I was like, Michael Jackson signed this. I was like,
So
Michael
silly.
Jackson signed. But hold on, I ain't got a front no more. Hold on, let me find the goods. But I ain't got a front. I ain't got a front no more. Cause you understand, you underdig. This is a real thing. It says new group makes debut on Michael Jackson's record label. And I promise you, when I told my family and I wrote home about it and I told everybody we had a deal, nobody believed me until they were able to go to the grocery store and get a copy of this here Jet magazine. So yes, that's my Michael Jackson. Why you lying? But maybe I was just manifesting. I don't know, because I did end up with a record deal with Mr. MJ. So again, I don't know all the details because we haven't had a chance to really read them, but I hate that artists and creatives, don't. This is why we have the ownership conversation, y'all. What you think, ladies? This is
I'm still going to stand by the fact that Michael knew years ago that they were all trying to get him. He sang songs about it. He wrote about it. He was aware of it. I don't know. I don't know.
I
I'm
feel
never going to be
I
the
feel
one that
like
agrees
Michael,
that
like, I mean, and the Jackson family, they came under the tutelage of Berry Gordy. So it's just like Michael Jackson,
and
Jackson
Motown, they
5
knew.
started when they were children. So he was hip to the game. Barry Gordy
And
has said in several interviews over time, especially if you watch that the history of Motown, about how he was so reluctant to let his artists move on to the next thing when they were growing up, especially the ones that were children like Stevie Wonder, like the Jackson 5. He didn't want them to say, I'm going to move on and change my sound and this is that, whatever. He wanted them to stay in the formula that worked. But what people seem to forget about Motown when it first started was that Barry Gordy had them on the assembly line like they was working at a plant. They went through all of the training, they went through the etiquette, the dance, all of this stuff. And on top of that, because he took Michael Jackson under his wing because he saw the talent in this young kid, I am pretty sure that he schooled him on the business as well. So it's not that was his life. He was an entertainer from the time he was 5 years old until he passed away when he was 50. That is 45 years in the same business. So I feel like this whole thing is some type of bamboozlement with his family because he grew up in a family where they all grew up in this business together. So for them to like not, I mean, I would understand if it was some like somebody else that didn't have all of this time in the industry and they weren't as aware of the things that were happening. But for this case in particular, it's just like his family knew what was what, and this is what they grew up in entertainment their whole lives. So that's why I feel, kind of like what Tyree was saying, that he may not have been, he may have signed things under the influence or something like that, because those rumors have been out there for a good little while as well. And he wouldn't just sign and not take care of those kids that he loved so much, not take care of his mama that he loved so much, not take care of his
Now let me
siblings.
say this though. I don't know that they're not taken care of. I don't know that I don't know the details of the transactions. I would
Right.
assume that they straight financially. I'm not necessarily, but it is, it's just, it's just
It just
something
doesn't
about.
matter. It's
It doesn't sit right.
generational wealth. It's the thing that
Right.
you've been preaching your whole. He created such generational wealth for his line for a millennia. And now
Right.
these two white men have just cut it off at the legs.
It just
I
Well,
mean,
because
I
just
it,
don't
cut it.
know that. I don't know they're
And
both two
he
white men because
knew.
I think one of them is a brother.
Okay, well, these two men, I should say that. These two men, because I've never seen them, I don't know.
I
But
think
he
one of
also
them is
knew
brother.
to get the Beatles catalog. So how do you know to get the Beatles catalog and you don't know how to protect your own? It just, none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And
and Eminem's too. He owned Eminem's catalog as well.
That's
So
crazy.
he
That's
was like a
yes,
crazy.
super
Thank
and
smart
you.
he was
businessman.
going
Yeah,
after
it's
It just
crazy.
Bisno
makes
Mark.
sense.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get
And
into
one of
something.
these,
We're gonna get into the reason that they were able. We're gonna get a little bit into the reason why it was. I think it might have been easier to convince people about certain things about him. Thank you, BFix 478, who just reminded me to remind y'all to please, please, please hit the like button. That is how YouTube knows that people are interested in this content.
yes,
It is
Derek
so
Tuggle.
important.
I'm sorry.
Yes, please,
I'm
please, please
sorry.
hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment because we need it. Absolutely. We're trying to build this thing up. Derek Tuggle says Dr. Murray
Yes,
was set up for them to get the music.
yes.
I mean, okay, so listen.
Didn't I say that earlier? I said that to you earlier. I wasn't going to say it live, but yes, I believe so.
Delete. The mother. So here's the thing. You know, there have been some conversations out here about, the whole issue with children, right? And it's a really sensitive subject because you never want to condone any kind of egregious behavior when it comes to babies and kids and sexuality and all that stuff. But I just have a hard time now that I've have a better understanding of how people operate. And, I have a hard time believing everything that I've been told in the past about people. And I say that because I have, on a smaller scale, myself been what I would call the victim of smear campaign. And the smear campaign on a much smaller scale, specifically with the intention of making people not like me, so that when really valid, important issues come up, like ownership and holding on to, generational wealth and litigations and lawsuits, people look at me sideways. I created the show R&B Divas. I'm probably on the list of the top 5 most disliked women on the show. And it's crazy because you create something that you want to, be something positive and it turns into something else. And I believe that Michael Jackson unfortunately fell victim to people who had realized that he was becoming a shrewd businessman. He was on his shit, and who knows? I don't know. And it's terrible because you say certain things and then you got to worry about, people taking a soundbite or a clip saying, oh, this person said this or that. That's why I still haven't said anything about Maxie's death. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like, this is an industry that is so childish and immature and crazy. It's like T-Boz was talking about when she was ill and had to stop her tour. All of a sudden she's sick because she was taking a weight loss medication, as opposed to it just be, it's just ridiculous, right? That is what people are saying or people have said. And it was something that really made her feel disappointed in fan bases. It's hard for artists and creatives. You try to be honest and forthright and walk the walk and talk the talk, And then all of a sudden you look up and they're accusing you of something that you didn't do. And that makes it easier to take your businesses from you. And I do believe, but
Yep.
we're gonna come on. I'm a little close to the MJJ situation. So not close to it like
Yeah.
that, but just by association. So I'm gonna tread lightly because I don't know the details, but I just want TJ, his nephew, to know that, I understand. It was him talking about the system, right? It was him talking about the system. And I'm like, when you hear the Jackson family, the most like success, like he just gave us so much stuff, y'all. He just gave like he
All of
impacted
them.
so many people, like so many artists would not even be possible if it weren't for the king, period. And like the way that people have, even in his passing, worked to destroy his legacy and dismantle it, and it's sad because there are no people out here that can really help. Like
Right.
who can help if the Jackson family can't help? Like this industry is full of cowards and clowns and jesters and shit. And who's gonna help? And it's a
How
shame
can they
because
look?
what are you
I'm
saying,
sorry. How
Tyler?
do you look that? How do you look that man's mother, the woman who created him, in her face and say, "No, we're going to take everything that you created and what your son created, and we own it, and we're going to sell it." That's crazy to me.
Because we
They don't
don't
care.
and it's a simple, you guys. Okay, first of all, it's a very simple thing. We are not taught how to protect our assets. We're just not.
True enough.
We're always in financial trouble. We're creatives. We are creatives. We don't have, listen, I'm not versed in how to like manage budgets. I know I can do it because shit, I can't afford to hire anybody to do it for me. I can't afford a line producer, so I got to figure out how to do that person's job. I don't know numbers like that. I don't know we're creatives. It's like you have to do everything. You have to know how to, create the budget, distribute the budget, find the budget, all of the stuff that a lot of these companies have teams of massive people for. And then you get somebody and it's just like, you don't trust them, right? Like, why should Michael Jackson have trusted any of these people? Because look at what they did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he talked about it his whole career. And that's the thing that just really blows my mind, because I always often wonder if Michael and Prince had access to the internet and their platforms, and even Whitney, and they were still here. Like we got the songs, right? We got the music, we got the art, we got the slave on the side of the face, we got the they don't really care about us. But imagine how powerful it would be for our world, because they were global icons. Imagine how powerful it would be for us to have access to that kind of uplifting, encouraging word. Like Michael Jackson should still be here. Prince should still be here. Whitney Houston should still be here. Bob Marley should still be here. Nipsey Hussle should still be here. Like Tupac should still be here. Biggie should still be here. Our artists, our creatives, our greats should still be here. There's no reason except greed, and them responding to greed in ways like self-medicating, overworking yourself. Tupac and Biggie prophesized what was going to happen
Pitting
with
one
them.
against each other.
Sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, it's just really I felt sad today, and I thank God that I'm one who wants to fight more than I want to lay in a corner in a ball and cry. I want to beat somebody. But I know I
Girl,
can't. Man, it's
so
like
angry.
it brings out so much. But anyway, I'm gonna reset the room. Is there something else on our hot topics that we want to talk about? We just, Mrs. Jackson, TJ, all of the Jackson family, Janet, everybody, we love y'all. We're rooting for y'all. We riding for y'all. Trust me, if I had already won this $300 million, if
We
I'd
on
already
your
won it, I'd be like,
side.
let's get another, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. It's like all of these powerful people, and
So
this woman
angry
fought
about
them
it.
by
Yeah.
herself. Like all these black billionaires. Hold on, let me say this, because this is the one thing I'm going to say in closing on this Michael Jackson topic. All of the black billionaires and all the black power players in the entertainment industry couldn't come together and help Katherine Jackson fight this? Where is the use of having, what is the use of having power if the most successful creative on the face of the earth, who probably contributed more than any other entertainer because everybody else was influenced by his greatness, why is it that one of these billionaires with all this money and power could not help his mother?
So crazy.
All right. What's the next topic?
Okay, but wait. Did either one of you see Janet on a live interview say that both Stevie Wonder and Samuel L. Jackson are their cousins? Did y'all know
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Did you know
The
that,
Stevie
Nikki?
Wonder thing, I knew about the
The
Stevie
Stevie
Wonder
Wonder I
thing.
knew, but Samuel L. had me messed up.
Yeah, me too.
Samuel L.
I
Jackson.
knew about Stevie Wonder. I knew about
I didn't know
Stevie.
about neither one of them. Sorry. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
They are
2300
they are
Jackson Street. They're
related.
starting with them. Oh my God.
Yes.
Derek
That is
says,
so
but even
crazy.
as regular people, we should have been taught how to balance checking and credit in high school instead of Columbus.
I 1,000% agree with you, Derek Togo.
True
In
that.
fact, I think it's Cass Tech. Is it Cass now that the seniors are required to have a financial literacy course to graduate? I think it's
I
Cass.
think so, but that should be across the board. And well, I honestly admit math was never my favorite thing in school
Mine
because
neither, baby. Mine neither.
I'm a writer. I'm an English person. So that was never really my
Higher.
forte. However, when I worked for a mortgage company, I definitely learned about finances because that's what I did every day in and day out for 10.5 years. So you learn when you have to learn, but I do agree that it should be something that is taught in school. I learned how to balance a checkbook because that was still a thing where people were still writing checks back then. I have checks. I've never used them, but I do have some. But that's something that should be taught in school. That should be a standard class across the US. If financial literacy and people really understood how money works, it would be a different world. But
I
most people
agree.
don't understand how money actually works and how property ties into money and how that is for your benefit. So when you are renting a place, you are increasing somebody else's pocket and not doing anything for yourself. You're throwing money down the drain. But when you have a mortgage, you don't own the home until you pay the mortgage off. And then you still have to pay your property taxes. I mean, I could teach a class, but I'm just
Let's have a mortgage 101. I mean, no,
Yes, we
seriously.
should.
We should do a mortgage 101 because you've been in the mortgage industry and listen, quiet as it's kept, we got to figure some things out. That's what's really crazy. When you talk about building equity, it's just so hard for us to get ahead. Like there's so many things that we don't know as people of color. And it does not change because we're artists and creatives, because guess what? They see an opportunity to take advantage of people who can't count as well as they do. Like we're up against people who professionally, their professional career is to manipulate numbers, to move numbers and shit around. I've said a gazillion times, like, real talk. When you look at how many records Brownstone has sold, you see almost 4 million albums. Almost 4 million albums at $10 a pop. Period. Why do I still owe you $1 million?
same thing with
No reason.
TLC.
There's no TLC the same thing, and we don't. It's difficult for us to process that, and people are like, well, you grown and you should know how to. But once you get in the hole, once you sign a contract at 23 years old, Michael Jackson probably signed his first contract at what, 7 or 10 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And none of those contracts, they were so draconian. Like, give me a break. Black people couldn't even. There wasn't real equality, real gender equality or the ability to vote. You actually think that an artist in the 60s and 70s and 80s, even in 90s, was going to get a fair shake in a contract? And here we look at it in hindsight as we get older and we become adults and we're like, oh, we somebody's grandma. Oh, we have mortgages. Oh, we've got to take care of our parents now. Oh, you start having all these real life responsibilities, and then you look and you see hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly or bi-monthly or what. You see that you have created things that are creating all of this revenue and all this wealth for other people. You see that you lose a $600 million battle and you're the greatest entertainer that ever lived, and nobody can say anything to you except, oh, sorry, oh well, too bad, I don't know what to tell you, should have signed a better agreement. That's some bullshit, and it's crazy
It's,
to me. Hey, we see y'all in here. B Fix says you're welcome, Queen. Please make sure you hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button. And let's see. Derek says, "Where's the money?" Exactly. That's what we're asking about. And XO, what's up, honey bunches? I took an elective course in high school called Math of Finance. We learned about balancing a checkbook and credit. And yes, we should learn about it in school. Absolutely, because guess what? A lot of our parents didn't have those skills to pass down. You know what I mean? We didn't understand the importance of credit. What's really crazy is I went to college with white kids with credit cards, and I'm like, you know how they have, like, when you go to college, they got it set up where everybody can go and you sign up for these credit cards. You're like, shit, I got American Express and a Visa and a whatever. I had so many credit cards in college. First of all, how you gonna pay for these credit cards, right? You're starving. Oh, I'll just use my credit card, right? White kids already, well, non-black kids, a lot of them already had cards because they were authorized users on their parents' cards for a very long time, which means that they were setting up their credit so that these people already got 800 credit scores coming out of college. We don't have access to stuff like that. Exo says
we
again,
have
however,
access, we don't have knowledge.
Right.
a
We
lot of
have
times we
access,
don't even
we
have
don't have knowledge.
access. Honestly, a lot of times we don't even have access, especially now we do. We have more access now because you can access anything on the internet. But in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even in the
Yeah,
2000s, before everything was so
that's true.
accessible, we did not have, you
Yeah,
couldn't just put in like, how do I do this? So most of us are in our 40s and 50s because we're able to actually go to YouTube University and find out what we need to find out. We're like, oh shit, I was doing this wrong all the whole time. I mean,
yeah.
Exo says, however, it should be taught to children as a part of their rearing at home. Guardians and parents shouldn't solely depend on the educational system to do it. Listen, what you think about that, Tyree? What y'all think?
That is
I'm gonna let
a
you
very
go
true
first.
statement. That is a very true statement. And well, I've taught my children about credit scores, about balancing their checkbooks, about watching their money. And my parents taught me. But what wasn't taught was fiscal health and stocks and putting your money away into money markets and earning money while you sleep, that kind of stuff. That's what needs to be taught to us. We can balancing the checkbook is, I mean, the less than 101, right? That's like standard, but like we need to be taught, when you have an extra, like the whole thing, if by age 23 you put $25 away every month, by the time you retire you have $1 million. No one was telling us that. I could have
Right.
been putting
Or
$25 away.
insurance,
Even
or the benefits of
or
insurance from the
Right.
time your kid
insurance,
gets here. Yep.
all of those things, I think, all of that stuff is very true. So yes, I agree with XO 100%.
Absolutely. What about you, Lauren?
So it's a little different because we never talked about money when I was a kid. Like my grandparents never talked about money. My mom never talked
Hmm.
about money. My dad never
Wow.
talked about money. Nobody in our family talked about money. It was go to work, living in Detroit. And Nikki, growing up here, it's like get a job at the big three. Be a teacher, be a
Wow.
nurse, or get a job at the big three. Chrysler, GM, or Ford, for those that don't know what the big three is.
Wow.
That, that's what it was. Graduate from high school, either go to nursing school, become a teacher, or get a job at the big three. when I would ask questions, because I was always a curious kid and I always wanted to know, I would ask the questions, but no answers were given. As I became an adult, I realized that the questions that I was asking couldn't be answered because they didn't have, like, my family may not have had the tools to teach me how to do the things that needed to be done. My grandfather worked for Chrysler for 40 plus years on the assembly line, and he retired, and that was it. My
Right.
grandmother worked for the military,
Right.
and then she retired, and
And
that
that
was
was
it.
it.
Like, they had pensions. Pensions are a thing of the past. So when I worked in the mortgage industry, I taught myself about stocks. I taught myself what it was, how to move money in your 401k to grow it. And it's just like, it's cool. I see all of this stuff. I don't drink Hennessy, but a lot of people drink Hennessy. So instead of just buying Hennessy, why don't you buy stocks, buy shares of stocks in the company that makes Hennessy? It's a luxury brand that has Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Cristal, a whole bunch, maybe not Cristal, but it's a whole bunch of things. Buy stocks in these companies. That's how you make your money.
Absolutely.
Buy
Yeah,
But
stocks
we're
in
not,
our,
and then
that
what's
part.
really
buy stocks
crazy, speaking of, which makes a lot of sense, what's really crazy is you say buy stocks in these companies. Also understand that even in these companies, um, for example, we all thought DeLeon was a Diddy owned brand. We all thought, we think when a lot of these rappers and hip hop artists come out with these liquor brands and all of this other stuff, you just brought up a really valid point, who we think are leaving it for their kids and so on and so forth. The reality is they don't even really own it. They're just high paid marketers, right?
yeah, Diddy
Which is
doesn't
Yeah,
own
brand
Ciroc.
ambassadors.
right, which is crazy. So can you buy stock in Hennessy? Like, it would be awesome if there were actually
You
black
can.
owned liquor brands that you could actually buy stock in that actually benefited the black community and black families. So man, when we talk about ownership and we talk about, here you have Puffy, no shade, because I'm staying away from that too until we get more of the
Mhm.
facts. I am
I was about to
curious
say,
as about that
I,
raid happened a long time ago. Do they have anything, or what is going on there? I don't know, because
it went silent
look to
so
me like they
fast.
scrambling.
It went silent so fast.
It's very silent. I'm like, yep, that's why I just keep you just keep your mouth closed, because you never know how stuff end up. Okay, real quick, guys, I want to share something with y'all. I really appreciate y'all being here. I have a special little something that I want to share with all of you. But before I share that, one of my favorite people to watch online in social media, and this is probably gonna sound weird, I love watching Sanaa Lathan. Like, she's not on there often, but whenever Sanaa posts something, either shaving her head completely bald for a movie or some glam moment, I'm just always like, first of all, she's super beautiful, so classy. I hope that we see more of her, because I think those kinds of examples are important to our young girls. And I think she represents us 50 plus women really, really well. But I came across this. This is one of my favorite clips of the week in social media. Take a look, and we gonna talk about the topic in just a hot shake.
Chucky, can you give me a little baby hair? What, you don't like baby hair? No? Baby hair is passe, huh? It's not fashion.
It's not timeless.
It's not timeless. So that's what we're going for, timeless? Chucky?
Yes. Yes, timeless.
So baby hair,
I
what
took
is
my time saying it.
what does baby hair give you?
Broken edges. No.
I love it. First of all, stop playing. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. First of all, she's gorgeous. Thank you for the lighthearted moments. There's so much crazy stuff going on. It's just good to see people laughing and having a good time. So basically, he was doing her hair and she wanted some baby hair. I'm sorry. I'm such a baby hair girl. Tyree, I know you're not a baby hair girl. You got natural baby hair. Lauren, do you do baby hair? You don't do baby hair.
No,
You
No,
think it's why not, ladies? Let's talk about baby hair. What's going on with
but
baby hair?
I mean, my hair is locked, so my lactation, I do have like, a little in the front where she could swoop to the side, but I sweat so much, I just be like, ain't no point, and I'm not gonna, you ain't, Nikki, you be like, you got your,
Baby, I'm a
got,
baby hair pumping,
yeah,
lip gloss is shining. I think you're in the
yeah,
mood for
nah,
whining and dining, so we could go out and
nah.
eat somewhere. Stop playing. Lisa,
I ain't never been a
Angela,
baby hair girl there. Even before my hair was locked, I was never a baby hair girl. That was never me.
never. Well,
No.
to everyone out there who rocks their baby hair proudly, I'd like to say on the subject of baby hair, keep rocking your sugar honey iced tea, and make sure you get that good. See, like I know you got to have a combination. Mael has a great edge control, and they have one now that has like the the stuff in it to help your edges grow. But it is true, it is a broken edges situation for sure. Derek, thank you for keeping us informed. Derek is like our fact checker person here. He said that Uncle Nearest is a black-owned whiskey company to invest in. He originally created the formula for Jack Daniels. We had a conversation about that. We went to dinner the other night and we actually talked about Uncle Nearest. And also, from what I understand, Beyonce has a liquor coming out called, is it Sir Davis or Sir Davies or something like that?
Sir
Yeah,
Sir something.
Sir something. She has a liquor coming out.
Sir Davis, I think.
Sir Davis is
But
a liquor.
Is Uncle Nearest publicly traded? I'm gonna have to look into that. Because I know Uncle Nearest is, and I know the story about, how Uncle Nearest came about because he gave the recipe because he was, enslaved and he was owned by, you know, Jack Daniels. Yeah,
Jack
and
Daniels.
But
Jack
Jack
Daniels.
gave him credit though, huh?
Well, not exactly. Um, Not at
Vanity
first.
credit. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Credit don't mean
But
shit unless it's a check attached to it.
right,
Sorry.
but it's like if these companies like the McBride sisters is a great wine company, but I don't think they're publicly traded. So it's
Okay.
like you can't invest in something that's not publicly traded. That's the
Okay.
thing. Yeah,
Well, we can invest in it by purchasing it
we
and
can,
giving
we
them a lot
can.
of sales and talking about it and word of mouth like that Jill Scott album, y'all. That we made that Jill Scott album pop. Who is Jill Scott? Y'all remember when that came
Man,
out, Hidden Beach,
love
long
that
time ago?
album.
That was a word of mouth campaign. So let's word of mouth it with these black owned products so we can show our real power in every space. Kelly Hastings says, I am a stylist and I do baby hair on baby.
Come on, Kelly, with your baby hair on babies.
I can't. I
Oh
can't.
my God. Well, I'm
Come
a
on,
big
Kelly,
baby.
do your baby hair on the babies, Kelly. I'm not mad at it.
On that note, let's just be
On that
glad
note.
that we got some hair to baby. I want to share
Hair
this clip.
possibly.
Right, we got some hair popping. You guys, I have a really special little surprise for y'all that I'm going to share, but not before we take care of some business. If you are watching us on YouTube in any of these platforms, please make sure you like, make sure you share, and you subscribe. You will see below me, I have the Worth TV Cash App. We are viewer supported. So our Cash App is $fight for Worth. Worth is an acronym for Women in Reality Film and TV. Just over the last couple of days alone, you guys, you have to watch the last few episodes. The episode where Tyree broke down her relationship with her mom and the fact that her mother could potentially be voting for that person who shall remain nameless, her mom and her dad. We're going to follow up on that. Make sure you go and watch that video. Also, last night we just had a really powerful conversation about what it means to be a woman executive in an industry that is often ruled misogynistic and, quite honestly, not a lot of black folks. Not like Tyree said, you've been in this for 20 years, haven't seen a lot of black faces. We should all be grateful, though, that we have air in our lungs and that we are healthy and we are happy. And I am going to share a clip with you. Again, if you're just joining me, then you're hearing it for the first time. And if you're not, then you've heard it for the 5,000th time. But I'm participating in a 5K in the city of Detroit in support of my baby sister, Deborah Gardner, who is bravely living, baby, living. We just came back from the Bahamas,
Yeah.
living it up, living with glioma, glioblastoma, which is a incurable form of brain cancer. But there's an organization called Head for the Cure, and they are raising funds. I'm participating in the 5K. Take a look. What's up, beautiful people? So thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts for getting us past the $500 mark. We have raised it to $2,000 in the fight against glioblastoma. That's my beautiful sister, Debbie, who is bravely fighting this incurable brain cancer. But we are heading for a cure. Every dollar raised goes to Head for a Cure. Come and join us September 8th at Belle Isle. And if you can't make it, you can still donate. Link in bio. All right, guys, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. There we are on the cover of Jet magazine. We still look good time because we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. For those of you who are living under a rock, you may not know that I have been ordered to pay Stars, Lionsgate, Katori Hall, all of the defendants, P-Valley, $600,000. And in the words of my sister Tasha K., I ain't got it. And that ain't no joke. I really don't. I've been paying for lawyers for the last 5 years. I just don't have it. Unfortunately, what has happened in this situation is, and we're not about to make this a P-Valley rant. I'm just going to update y'all as often as I can. But what's happened in this situation is we're in what is called appeal, which is the same court that the Jackson family just came out of, where we're going before a panel, and they're going to decide whether or not they believe that we should have been given the right to a trial. I posted something today. Shout out to my sister Tamika Mallory, all the folks who are supporting that and liking that. You know, you guys please share, and not because we're trying to be messy, but because we're trying to be advocates for our community and having fair opportunities to litigate or to have things settled in a court of law. So I was in the gym today and I had a little bit of a moment, and there's always a little something that triggers a little bit of a moment, right? And I noticed that there was a story about a man who is a quadruple M-worder. I think you can't use those words on YouTube, but he unalived some people, like 4 people, unalived them. And the headline was that he was working to find or working on getting a new venue for his trial because, you know, he just wanted to make sure that there was no bias involved, right? So if you've unalived a bunch of people and they kind of caught you red-handed, you know, why do you even need a trial? Why not just, you know, that's a situation where I feel like you don't need a trial. But it just really made me actually a little sad at the fact that as a woman of color in America who went to a judicial system for help because of a federal felony, which is copyright infringement, right? If you're found guilty with intention, to be told that I have to not only add insult to injury by not being allowed to go to trial, not being allowed to defend myself before a jury of 12, but also now being held responsible for $600,000 in legal fees. To be clear, the judge felt like the reason that I needed to pay these legal fees is because my lawyer should have told me that I had no chance of winning this case. Now, the bottom line is whether or not I win this case, I believe should be left up to a jury to decide, right? The fact is, the judge decided that even though we're in appeal and we're going to oral argument, so you guys who are all on YouTube, make sure that when we make the announcement we're going to oral argument, that you are standing by to watch it because it is broadcast for all the world to see. And I want the world to see. And I want, you know, people to understand. There are people like, oh, you should, you know, put yourself in a trust. Oh, you should hire better lawyers. Oh, you should. There's no solution for my situation except the Ninth Circuit. That is the only solution I have to this issue. Now, yes, I'm writing letters to my president. I'm writing letters to my senators. I'm writing letters to anybody who will listen. I'm talking to people about how we can definitely advocate, even if that means boots on the ground, not just for my case, but just to make sure that artists and creatives don't look at my case and feel like they don't stand a chance, right? Because that is the message that this sends to creatives. The message that this judge allowing them to collect $600,000 from me and my family, the message that it sends is that you don't have the right to protest. The message that it sends is that you don't have First Amendment rights. The message that it sends is that you don't have the right to a trier of fact in a jury. And that is a very dangerous message to send to creators, especially in an industry that makes billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of entertainment. But speaking of, and then the other thing I want to say real quick, which is really important for me to mention, The reason why this is such a travesty for me is because I'm still in court. It is not over. I don't care what anybody told you. The appeals court has not made a decision in my case, and they're going to hear it, a panel of 3 in oral hearing. And that in and of itself says maybe it's not so frivolous after all, because from what I understand, appeals courts don't hear frivolous cases. So the fact that I'm still in court fighting and now my hands are tied because I can't really fight full on because they're taking everything from me while I'm fighting. Like, how is that fair? How is that American? How is that okay? Where they do that at? I'm in the middle of a fight and you just gave the people I'm fighting a switchblade and, well, you know, not literally, got to be careful about what you say, but y'all get my point. You've just given them more weapons and more power and more of an ability to fight me. $1 billion company doesn't need more money from you, from me, that you gave them to fight me. Now my lawyers that I still owe, all the people that are on my team, all of the people that I'm trying to actually do business with are now like, oh, she just got a $600,000 judgment against her. It just totally messes up so much for my family. And it's really, really sad that people are allowed to do it. And I'm just going to come off of it. It's really sad. But I want you guys to keep that in mind when y'all go watch P-Valley Season 3. I want y'all to keep that in mind when you go watch Power Season 86. I want you to just keep in mind, I'm not saying unsubscribe and I'm not saying don't watch, but I want you to keep in mind that there are actual Black families out here that are being destroyed by major corporations. Look at what happened to Michael Jackson. Look at what's happening to me. Look at what happened to Prince. At some point, the people who help facilitate all of these huge deals, at some point you have to be actively involved in us fighting these machines. And if that means stepping back and not giving them more ammunition to hurt your people, then that's what you should do. And speaking of, let me just say this real quick, and then I'm going to get to the surprise and we're going to get up out of here, right? Deadline.com is reporting that Lionsgate filmed The Crow, right? How The Crow's wings got clipped at the box office. The reboot of Brandon Lee cult classic bombs at just 4.6. Karma. Lionsgate sued by a pension fund seeking to block a Star split. So I don't know all the details of the transaction, but allegedly Lionsgate tried to unload Stars and the people said, not so fast. And if you Google or look it up, you see that this isn't the first issue that they've had with their shareholders. This is just a lawsuit that was filed a couple of days ago. And I really hate having anything to say about someone else being in the middle of a lawsuit. But to them, I say, to the people who are suing them, I say, charge on, because they done beat me to a pulp. And they need to pick on somebody their own size. And these people allegedly handle $700 million worth of funds. So they've got plenty to get what they need to get gotten. Right. And then another big thing that happened, which is really interesting to me, is that they had a trailer come out for a film. And it's a Francis Ford Coppola film. And the film is called Megalopolis, which is an interesting name. And hold on one second. I'm sorry. They screwed up. Lionsgate says they really screwed up. They had to recall the trailer because by some strange accident, there were all of these really crazy reviews that were not so nice about Francis Ford Coppola and his work. And Lionsgate was like, oh my God, we don't know what happened. We ended up firing the marketing company. It was a whole situation. It was a whole thing. And listen, I don't get off on anybody's demise. I don't get off on anybody's disadvantage. I mean, I'm sorry, bad luck, whatever. But in this case, I just feel like karma is moving and karma is working, and hopefully it continues to move and it continues to work and it continues to go. So that's my report for today on that. And I just thought it was really interesting to see. And then there's a video that I won't play because I don't have the rights to play it right now, but somebody kind of laid into them. So just Google it. And hopefully the people who did what they did to MJ end up seeing a similar response, right? All we can do is hope that the universe is moving with and for us. And in this case, I'm very confident that the universe is definitely on our side. Okay, so last week, we filmed our new season of She Speaks Live, the little show that could, you guys. OMG. And we did our R&B Divas mashup. So tonight, I want to share a sneak peek of my conversation with our soror, Lauren. I like that one. The karma train, all aboard. Woo, woo. That's it. That's it. And baby, listen, I have to say, even if, you never know how this thing is going to turn out, right? You just never know. It's a panel. I respect the courts. I respect the Ninth Circuit. I'm going to be cool. But at the end of the day, even if it ain't me, if you see something that is some entity that is doing wrong, I might just be the person to loosen up the bolts on that mug. It might take somebody else to come through and knock it all the way out. You know what I mean? But, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. At some point, it's going to work. And karma's working. Okay, so I want to share this with you guys. I'm super excited about it. And it will be this particular episode that I'm about to show you the sneak peek of, will be airing on WIRFTV.com exclusively. So after this broadcast, which is about to end shortly, after this broadcast, make sure that you go to WIRFTV.com. Real quick refresher. WIRF.TV is our YouTube channel, which is what you're on now. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit share, make sure you subscribe. And WIRFTV.com is our web-based streaming app. And you'll be able to watch this before everybody else if you go on ahead and register now. And if not, then you'll be able to see this, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. Take a look and let's talk about it. Good evening, sexy people. I'm your host, Nikki Gilbert Daniels, and welcome to the new season of She Speaks Live. Baby, when I tell you I'm so excited about my next guest, she is a Grammy Award-winning singer. She is a founder of one of the most successful girl groups on the planet. She is a mom. She is a philanthropist. She recently became my soror, a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. She is one of the most calm and cool and collected spirits that I know. And guess what, y'all? She was on a little show that I created called R&B Divas. And this is the first time since she's been on R&B Divas that Latavia Robeson, Houston native, and I have had an opportunity to sit down and chat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to She Speaks Live. My sister, my soror, Latavia Robeson. Yay!
Thank you for having me, sister.
What?
And now I can say my soror.
I know that's right, sisters in real life. There we go. We gonna get all into the boule. We gonna get all into why and how, and but before we get into how Sigma Gamma Rho happened, honestly, if I'm just keeping it real, we keep it real here on She Speaks Live. If I'm just keeping it real, I as much as I'm the creator of R&B Divas, I wasn't a part of your season. I left in season 3. And I don't even know how this was presented to you. So if you could just kind of start this conversation off by letting me know, how did you become a member of R&B Divas?
I was approached.
Okay.
And I was asked to come on. I was asked to do an interview. I was asked to speak about what it is that I would bring. And I was very, very honest with them about where I was in my life. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand, didn't know why you weren't a part anymore, sis. I did not know that. But I did speak about it. I was at a point in my life, I was a new single mother going through things with my child's father. I did need a source of income, but I also felt like at that time that I would be able to create or become a part of a sisterhood of women that could understand things that I was going through. And so I was very honest. I was very vulnerable at that time. And to my demise, and everything, it was nothing that I ended up, not to take anything away from you. It ended up not being anything that I thought it would end up being.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, guys. Man, oh man, oh man. That was just a sneak peek. A little something, something for y'all. Tyree unfortunately had to jump off. I am going to share another really important promo for you guys to take a look at before I come back and let y'all out of here. It's just a few minutes actually, and it's super important based on what happened with Michael Jackson, based on what is happening with me. Oh, just to plug, you can see She Speaks Live, Diary of a Diva mashup, first episode with Latavia on WIRFTV.com. It is our web-based streaming app. Please, please, please check it out. All right, you guys, I want to share this statement with y'all. Stick around. It's super important, especially given what happened with MJ. And I'll be right back after this. Hey, I'm Nikki Gilbert Daniels, writer, performer, producer, and advocate for women and girls in underserved communities. I'm most passionate about supporting women and girls of color because I believe that they deserve an equal opportunity, a purpose-driven and an empowered life, both personally and professionally. That's why I created my nonprofit organization, FromTheBottomUpFoundation.org, and initiatives like WORF Media, which is an acronym for Women in Reality, Film, TV, and Media. WORF aims to change the toxic, negative, destructive stereotypes and narratives that women of color face in the media. We believe that a national infrastructure that provides female content creators with platforms, resources, and opportunities to not just create, but to own and distribute content that not only entertains, but also uplifts, inspires, and empowers all women. Research has shown that the inclusion of women in media is essential to addressing racial and gender biases and inequities in employment, salaries, and most importantly, influence. My primary mission as an advocate is to improve the access that women and girls have to the tools, the resources, and the opportunities, the information that they need to thrive. We believe that the key to success begins with learning how to own your own intellectual properties, your stories, your songs, your creative ideas, the things that you come up with. These things have often been denied to us through various ways, such as gender pay gaps, racial and gender discrimination, misogyny, and flat-out theft of our ideas, our creative intellectual properties. Owning our own content or intellectual properties is the key to helping provide our communities with generational wealth and generational wellness. According to the Journal of Gender, Social Policy and Law, while individual Black artists have without question benefited from the intellectual property system, the economic effects of IP deprivation on the Black community have been devastating. Intellectual property today is perhaps the preeminent business asset, and analysts recognize that Blacks and other minorities in a market economy cannot participate as equals unless they too can deploy the private power generated by ownership and control of those substantial assets. Our community deserves the opportunity to participate as equals, and we don't deserve to have our preeminent business assets stolen or infringed upon. In an effort to bring awareness to issues impacting creatives and our ability to have meaningful participation in the properties that we create, I'm launching the Fight for Worth campaign. In launching this campaign, I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for any and every creator who has or will have to deal with the debilitating, heartbreaking, infuriating reality of having someone violate your creative, your intellectual, and your civil rights. My team and I thought long and hard before we decided to address this publicly, and while I will not comment on ongoing litigation, I wanted to share this campaign with my family, with my friends, with my supporters, with my business colleagues, in the spirit of transparency and clarity. As a 30-year veteran. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to put y'all all the way through that. You can find that statement on WIRF, WIRF, Women in Reality, Film, and Media, WIRFmedia.com. Lauren, let me bop you in here real quick, right quick, fast, and in a hurry. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I really appreciate you receiving this wonderful little broadcast, and I hope that you found something valuable. I hope that you found something that you could use in your everyday life. We just on here shooting the breeze. I like to look at this as my little radio show opportunity and whatnot. And I thank you. I thank you. My team thanks you. Each time we're going to try to make this shorter. So we're at 1 minute and 14 seconds right now. Last night we was at 1 minute and 19 seconds. Lauren, say goodbye to the people. Tell them where they can find you, sis.
You can find me on Instagram at LB Productions, ELLEBEE Productions on Instagram, or on my website, lbproductions.com. Check
Absolutely.
out my podcast.
And we're going to have you come on and talk about mortgages, Lauren, okay? So we could we can talk to the people about equity and mortgages and getting loans and all kinds of stuff. Listen, this is She Speaks I'm sorry, this is not She Speaks Live. This is Nights with Nikki. She Speaks Live comes on Sunday night. There is no show tomorrow because, again, like I said, Brownstone will be in Las Vegas with Mr. Keith Sweat. But I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Thank you for joining us with Nights with Nikki. And we still beat last night's record. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. All right. We love y'all. Thank y'all for partying with us on Nights with Nikki. We'll see you on Monday.
Good night.